All right, here we are. Not too many of these little clan previews left, everybody. Diving right into the magical phoenix and the majestic unicorn.
Majestic.
Majestic.
Like a stallion.
We got Jameson, we got Corey, we got Hollis. What's your nickname this week? Something about being on time?
Late Lord 007. I don't know.
Yeah. You're late for a very important date.
Yeah.
little white rabbit action. And we are joined by our special guest for this clan preview is Ben, Mr. Peach Hack, Dodge Pong. Kind of goes by any one of those names, I think.
Yeah, Dodge Pong is most common on the internet. But yeah, I run a YouTube channel for Netrunner called Peach Hack, and I'm probably going to be doing some L5R stuff here soon too.
Possibly, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Very, very likely. Let's say that.
But no, we don't. This is not a spoiler podcast, so we're not going to officially tell you if he's going to or not. Just
I am.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be streaming at Gen Con, but yeah, it'll be fun. Good times.
Yeah, his heart's in the right place to do it. If it doesn't happen, it's because of some weird thing that's out of his control.
Yes. FFG is sometimes spotty on their support when it comes to streaming at their events, but they've got like a ton of stuff going on. They're running a 700-man tournament. It's going to be insanity, so we'll do what we can.
For those people that want to check that out, Ben, do you know, are you going to keep it on the same Twitch channel?
Yeah, so it'll be streaming at twitch.tv/dodgepong, DODGEPONG. And the YouTube, I'll post them on YouTube later. So it's youtube.com/dodgepong also.
Cool. All right, fellas. Anything you guys want to throw in here?
It's we're almost there. We're almost to the launch of this game.
Oh my
At
gosh!
least the Gen Con launch. Like at the time of doing this recording, we are less than a week to when the kickoff event will be happening at Gen Con.
It's like, I mean, it's really late on Wednesday or on Thursday now. So exactly 1 week from now, the Kiko mystery will have been done. We'll have like maybe 21 Hatamotos. It'll be rolling.
And then we'll be making an important decision that might impact the riders, the little pony riders.
No. Why does everyone hate us?
Yeah. So
we're trying to bring good stuff to you guys.
Yeah.
It'll be so great.
All them
to know a guy. He's magic. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the people that made that Dark Tower movie tried to bring good stuff to the people too. Look how look how that turned out.
Wow, man, that was a brutal stab. I tried really hard to like the movie. Too bad it was garbage.
All right, guys. You know what? Let's flip right into this stuff. We're gonna walk through some of the previews and just give our thoughts. And if you've seen the other ones, you know where we're headed here. So, Corey, you want to walk us through the Keepers of Harmony?
Yes, the Keepers of Harmony, aka the Phoenix Clan. The responsibility of maintaining balance can only fall to a select few. To the mystic Sugenja tending to the spirits of the land. To the glorious warriors slow to conflict, but deadly when they act. To those who ensure the 5 elements remain ever in balance.
Okay, so in more of a layman's terms, what does that mean here?
Yeah.
Like these guys are controlling the elements, so they're more tied to the rings.
Right. So I think yeah, like pacifism, they definitely want to focus on the elements in the rings. So as you go through and you see characters, you'll notice that they'll have like specific Sugenja to certain elements. They'll have like the masters of each of the rings. And so it seems that they're really focused on, of course, having like the most mages in the game, the best mages in the game, and so you'll see them playing with a lot of spell cards and things like that. But being able to manipulate and control the rings better than anybody else.
There was just a quick shout out in the chat. So Ben is a very avid keeper upper or in the know for this game, but he did not play the original.
Yeah, I'm new to the series. When they announced that FFG bought L5R, Corey, I mean, I hang out with Corey all the time. We're both in Atlanta. Corey got really, really excited, and so I ended up talking with him about it a lot, about like just kind of the background about where the game has come from, and I was kind of not sure if I was going to get into it or not. And then I started coming out with the preview articles. I'm like, all right, this looks pretty sweet. I'm willing to give it a shot. So yeah, it looks cool. So I'm pretty new to it, and I'm trying to absorb it, trying to, respect the people who have come before, and that there's an established community and there's a story and history with that. But I'm trying to learn as best as I can to, and come in with the new, I suppose.
So it is important to note then that I guess I am the only old schooler in this episode, and then I've got 3 noobs rolled with me.
Dun, dun, dun.
But Ben is looking to go unicorn.
This is
whenever,
true.
That's who he's looking to pledge his allegiance to at the opening tournament. So as we get to them later in the preview,
yeah,
you can give some good insight on his thoughts and feelings.
I'll have some things to say for sure.
Excellent. Cool.
But we're on Phoenix.
So who's so Corey? Where do your thoughts land you on so far with Phoenix?
Well, I guess let's start with let's go over their stronghold. Why don't we pick up and go over that and see where that's kind of directing us, and then we can pick out some other cards and see if we start seeing these themes develop and build. Okay. So I know in the old style game, really notable things that Phoenix had is of course the Elemental Masters, which were just like, supreme badasses in each of the elements. And they kind of were like the ultimate representation of the power and the ability you could get by mastering that element. And they just were just the best. They were really one of the only clans that really used spells, which were a lot clunkier in the old game because you had to actually like play it and attach it to somebody, and then they had to like use it as an action. And it seems like in the new one, they're more just like actions to take and trigger and do it and stuff like that. So there's a little bit more smooth in the way that they interact. But let's go to the stronghold, shall we?
Yeah, we're there.
Do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm catching up. So we have Asawa Mori Saito. I'm probably pronouncing the last one really wrong. Sorry.
Oh, this game is just going to be one that the comment section is going to rip you apart because
I know
I'm going to go pronounce nothing.
Hey, it turns out you can know someone who's really good at Japanese and they don't know how to read the word. Anyway, sorry. Only a few people will get that. So it's a +2 stronghold. It's a shrine. It starts with 11 honor and 10 influence and 7 fate generation. So it is a little bit higher honor. And its action, bow this stronghold, choose a character. That character gets +2 glory until the end of the phase. What's really cool about this is it's not necessarily a friendly character. So you can even do this to your opponent. Now, why is that beneficial?
Yes, I'm wondering.
So the immediate benefit is if your characters are honored. So that's immediately sending a sign with, okay, maybe they like to honor. They want to trigger like that fire ring, get that buff, and then that +2 glory will swing them to getting a larger buff to their political and military. But if you have someone dishonored, they can add it, and it's a larger debuff to your opponent. Or it can be used just to allow you to try to win the favor more often, just by leaving somebody standing. And then as the conflicts end, you just buff someone who's standing up to jack up their glory, so then you're more likely to take and control the favor. So there's a lot of really good utility in the stronghold. So, any other thoughts, feelings, gut reactions?
No, I think it's, again, like the other ones, I think it's really cool to see each clan having a very different mechanic and feel to it, right? Like, it's not just the opposite of something.
Right.
Like sometimes when there's a lot of clans, it's like, you'll have two things, say fate and honor or something, and you're like, one clan is like, hey, this is +1 fate. Then the other one's like, this is +1 honor, right? Like, they're very, very unique. So I love the fact that they distinguish themselves like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's going to make this game just really fun, because if you pick a clan that you really enjoy, I feel like they're doing a great job making, that unique factor. You're getting something that clan's going to be able to do and going to be really strong at, that another clan's not really going to be stealing and taking from you. Cool. Any other thoughts on the Stronghold, or ready to keep on rolling down to the province?
I really do like how flexible it is in terms of being able to use it on offense, or not necessarily offense or defense, but for debuffing or buffing your own guys. I mean, you do have to get people honored. So, correct. I mean, this is signaling that honor is going to be really important for Phoenix, having big glory stats, and like the air ring in particular is something that they really like to have.
And they do have some big glory stats, which we'll get to later, but there's some characters that are just like, what? And that's pretty insane. Cool. So you're ready to move on to the province?
Yeah, let's take a peek.
The Kuro Mori. So this is a Void Province, Strength 4. As an action, during a conflict at this province, select one, switch the contested ring with an unclaimed ring, or switch the conflict type. Insane.
That's
this is
amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, one of the best provinces I've seen spoiled or talked about so far in the game. Like, it pretty much means if your opponent goes here, they're probably never coming back. They're going to go and check out what your other three provinces are.
I feel like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, so I've only played a handful of games on Tabletop Simulator, but it seems like what often happens, especially while the game is newer and people haven't quite figured out, how they want to handle aggression or basically like holding back certain cards or holding back resources. It feels like it definitely hurts the strategy where someone could go all in on something. So when your opponent is like, you know what, I'm going to hold back some resources, I'm going to go all on a military for this province, or maybe even like for your stronghold. Having this province as the thing under your stronghold is so insane, because it means they can go, okay, I'm all in a military. You can say, you know what? Sorry, this is a political conflict now. So you've gone all in on military. That plan is canceled. So you're going to have to go into this next conflict, at least on this province, a stronghold, knowing, okay, I've got to have great power politically, great power with my military. And if I plan to use void, earth, air, whatever, you have to accept that this just may not be the ring you want to claim. It may be the ring that is the worst for you, which I love.
Which seems really disgusting if your opponent particularly is playing, I guess, like a keeper, and they're wanting to trigger like their ring to do all their cool keeper stuff, and then they're just like, nah, no, you're going to use this ring instead. I never thought too much about it being on the stronghold, which seems actually really good to kind of flip and switch it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, like, looking at this province, everything about it is incredible. Like, especially when you compare it to some of the neutral provinces, because you've got, like, Elemental Fury and, what is it, Rally to the Cause, I think is the name of the other one. Where Elemental Fury, as a reaction, you can change just the ring type, or the ring element, and Rally to the Cause is as a reaction to revealing, change the conflict type from military to political, or the other way around. So those guys are neutral. Those are 4 influence or 4 strength, neutral 4 strength, and you can only do their ability once when you flip. This guy, it can do either of them as an action, so it's repeatable. Yeah. And it's still 4 strength, which is on the high end of clan-specific provinces. It's void, so you can take that and either Rally to the Cause, or it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and as Hollis mentioned earlier, it makes your opponent think like, I've got to go all in. But the problem is, it can switch to either way. So if you're going in to try to deal with the effect, you have to build a balance. Because you're like, okay, I'm going to go all military, it switches to political. or then you go all in political, this switches to military, and you're just like, sure, man, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, it can be great for a taxation.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've not only pulled cards or made people commit already to the battle, they've beefed up people with whatever attachments or whatever they're doing on it, spent their fate, done all their stuff, and then you use this action to change that conflict type, and then everything there's just pretty much probably wasted.
Yeah. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
And especially because, like, from some of what I've gathered from some of, like, just the early games and things like that, is that the game wants to be really fast, and failing to take a province in one turn can set you back pretty substantially.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, almost, if you just pop it, reveal it, you're probably not taking it. It's probably halting whatever attack you were sending that way. In some form or fashion, it's messing up your plan.
Because it's the action, do you pop it at any time, right?
Yeah, because even if they don't have enough going in, you just wait until they buff to get it, and then you just change it.
Yeah. Are you coming with military? All right, I'll pass. All right, fine, katana, pass. Bonsai? All right, I'll switch. It's political. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about this province to me also is that it gives a really interesting picture into what Phoenix is about, which to me, it's just like Phoenix is about screwing with whatever your plans are. Like, they have a lot of really powerful stuff, but one of their most powerful things is that they seem to, like, be the hoser clan that just hoses what everyone does.
Yeah, they are the master of the elements. You're stepping into their house.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
and then even the strength of 4 is still, not too
Great.
shabby, right? Like, so to have the ability and to have a strength 4, you're just who play tested this effing game, right?
I have no idea.
This
I'd want to have a conversation with them though if I knew who they were.
This is
Yeah,
gonna be
definitely not in the back of the. Anyway, so hey, let's go on to the way. Get over to the. Anyway, so easily, just to kind of throw it out there, based on all the provinces I've seen, this is probably my number one compared to all the other clan-specific provinces. I think to me it feels like the strongest of the ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah,
I mean, it feels like one of the best provinces. This is full stop.
Right.
it's super disruptive. Like I played against an opponent that had this on their stronghold, and it felt very much like while at that point in the game, it was clear I wasn't playing for long-term, 25 honor. It was, okay, it's pretty clear now. I've cracked 3 provinces. I have to go for that 4th province, and it was 100%. I need to commit completely on saying one particular kind of conflict, but have the support of both.
Yeah.
I have to go in with both military and political at the same time, all in, to know that if you swap it, I don't just lose that conflict because you have the tools.
And some clans that's really hard,
Yeah.
Crab. That sounds like it makes Crab really sad because they're just like, I've got to come in with military and political. Okay. So yeah. So more shenanigans. If we go over to the Way of the Phoenix, which again, the artwork on these Way cards, stupendous. I love the art style they went with this. I talk about it every episode. I'm an art guy. So the philosophy, it's an action. Choose a ring and an opponent. That player cannot declare conflicts of that ring's element this phase. So we've got a province that's disrupting your type, switching out your rings. You then got the Way. And this is super awesome if you're going into a turn and there's a ring that's just been building up fate. And then you're like, I got first player, I'm going to go in the Phoenix Blaze. Hey, actually, you can't play this ring that's got all this fate on it. you can pick one of these no fate rings. I'll be collecting that one later. You just hang tight. You wait your turn. But it also in situations where, like, I mean, as you play, you'll find out that there's rings that are obviously the optimal choice, and then just to be able to deny it is also like super strong. Instead of you making this, because sometimes the only way you deny it is you take it first, and it may not be the best choice for you. You just don't want your opponent to take it. Well, Phoenix can just be like, "Nah, I'm still going to pick the ring that's best for me, but you're not going to get to play the ring that's best for you."
Yeah, especially like when we were talking about the stronghold, that the fire ring seems really good for Phoenix. They're like, cool, you can't play fire. It's going to be mine. I'm going to honor or dishonor, dude. It's all mine, not yours.
Yeah. It's super strong. And why would the fire ring be super important? Why would it be so good? Well, I guess if we take a look at their clan champion.
Wait, don't go there yet.
Wait, you're not ready?
No. I didn't even say really anything about the way here else. I got. You
got something you want to add? Do you have a killer combo?
Those are all top secret right now for another cast. I really do like the fact that this again is playing into that denial and taxation theme. I don't know if it's going to be carried across the whole play mechanic of Phoenix, but I really do think that if you look at what you can do on your turn and action windows and how quickly that this game can move and potentially get snowballing, where, like Corey said, I think it's super overlooked the fact that as a block you can just deny them the ring instead of you taking one that is not as beneficial to you. So you're basically saving like a full round of a turn, right?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So good stronghold, amazing province, solid way. They're looking good so far.
So far.
Yeah. But then you get to their clan champion. And
what does that mean?
As an old school player, Shiba Sukune, I'm super excited. This artwork is incredible. Just one of the best pieces in the entire set. But she is a 5 focus cost 4/4, which on the power curve, that's like, okay, she's evenly balanced, 4/4. But she's got 4 glory. Bushi champion as an interrupt. When the conflict phase ends, resolve the ring effects of up to 2 unclaimed rings as if you were the attacking player.
Jeez. That's so good.
So just take the ability out. So she's a 4/4 with 4 glory, which means if she becomes, now granted this goes either way, she's honored, she swings up to an 8/8. Stronghold, she can be a 10/10. Now granted, she's dishonored, she's super sad, she's a 0/0, but she's still a 0/0 with a bonkers ability.
She tried her best.
Right.
This is what the flavor text is.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I tried. I'm just going to be an observer. I'll let you guys handle it. But that ability is just so great. Again, with the you're definitely seeing more and more of like the ring manipulation start to like come to fruition in the clan. And then now it's like your opponent's is kind of like, well, I don't want to leave this on the table, or the Phoenix player's just going to get free ring triggers. And yeah, there's of course ones that aren't going to do that awesome. Not going to do that much. But, free trigger on Earth, fantastic. Take it all day long. Free trigger on water, if it's could be impactful you winning the favor, sure, that's excellent. Especially since that could be a 4-point swing for a lot of the Phoenix characters, because they're super high on glory. Fire, yeah, for some reason they haven't triggered it already. Seems unlikely, but there you go. And then like air, yes please. And void, yeah, okay. So
yeah, it's all amazing.
Yeah, and you're doing it for free. You just have to have her on the board at the end of the conflict phase.
it's it. You know what's really weird about this game is like you seem like you want to play every clan, but you can only do one.
Right.
Right. Like after every preview has come out, you're like, wow, this one is really strong. I think this has a good chance, and you're just like, oh, but the next one comes out and the next one comes out. Like so far, when you run down the major things of a clan, your champion, province, stronghold, way, like these guys are already batting like 1,000 here.
Yeah, you're already seeing really amazing things.
And to come in with a really cool mechanic of playing with that and manipulating the bonuses you get from the rings is just insane. I mean,
and then as you start,
it seems like the only thing that can beat these guys so far is a bad shuffle.
Right. Well, so then if you start thinking about the other cards, right? And I don't want to jump ahead too far, but just kind of think about the other things, some call-outs and themes you see in the rest of the stuff that's been spoiled. So you'll see a lot of their characters. Granted, they have a ton of Shugenja, very thematic. That's what they are. They're just Shugenja clan. Aside from the Shibas, you'll see Shugenja that are themed to a certain element, and you'll see some that'll get an ability, but only if the appropriate ring is what they're battling for. So that does make the impactfulness of them controlling the ring a little bit more important, because some of their guys won't be firing on at full power until they get into that setup. So that's kind of important.
Do you have an example for us that I can bring up of a character?
Yeah. So why don't you pull up Asawa Atsuko? She's in the article. That's a great one. So she is 4 Fate, 3/3, Shugenja of the Void, 2 Glory. But as an action, during a Void conflict, until the end of the conflict, each participating character you control gets +1/+1, and each participating character your opponent controls gets -1/-1. Sure. Buffs all your dudes, debuffs all your opponents. But it has to be a Void conflict. And you'll see that in a couple characters. But another thing that you'll immediately see is the glory on these characters. Like, almost all of them, actually I'm pretty sure all of them are at least 2. And then you have ones like the Serene Warrior that's 4.
Which is their only ability, but it's 4. Like, they're honored and they're, what, a 7/6 or something?
Correct, yeah. So naturally, you look at this and you're like, okay, so these are themes. They love to control the elements. And then honor seems like something they could be really strong at. But then if you flip it, it also seems like that they can be very weak to dishonor. Because then those are massive debuffs to all these characters. Because some of these guys being dishonored just zeroes them out. And they're just like a name floating around on the board. Mm-hmm. So,
which is, it's sort of like the exact opposite of what we see out of Crab, where in some cases honor is totally irrelevant. The card is good or maybe even great regardless of the honor that card has.
Right. So that seems like something they have to be wary of in that matchup. Like, how well do they stand up to Scorpion? And even to some points, like, Scorpion's main is probably going to be actively trying to dishonor characters. So
one of the things that if I were a Phoenix player I'd be concerned with is that there's lots of really powerful effects, but a lot of them, like you said, are situational to this only works in this particular ring, or if we're talking about hosers, like they have cards like Pacifism or Grasp of Earth. They're like cards that are situationally really good, but do they have things then to back that up and punish that as well?
Right.
Like you have things that are really good in specific scenarios, but you have to kind of make sure that you've rounded it out to make sure to bring it home, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But I do see, just gut reaction shows that Phoenix has a lot of variety on the way they play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can go military by swinging that, focusing on honoring those high glory characters and bringing, amazing stats so you can win and break provinces. You can be honoring a bunch of your people and generating honor that way by just cycling them through and other actions. And even with your control of the firing and airing, you maybe even to like press dishonor a little bit in some matchups. Like controlling the rings is a pretty damn strong ability. It gives you a lot of flexibility in your playstyle. And that's not even talking about, what's it, display of power? Is that the one that's like when your opponent wins a conflict?
Oh, yeah.
You just play it and you're like, cool, man. Actually, I'm triggering that ring and I'm taking it. So thanks. Thanks for doing all the work for me.
Yeah, after you lose an unopposed conflict.
Yeah.
Right, so you don't even have to commit your guys. Just save them back.
Yeah, this card should basically also, I mean, I know it's not a, it's a hidden, like, a cost of playing display of power, but it's important to point out also, you're going to lose that honor.
Right.
Like, you're like, for allowing your opponent to win unopposed, it's fantastic you gain the ring effects, and it's counted towards it at the end of it, when it's all said and done, it's counted towards your Imperial favor. But you're going to lose an honor for it. It's a dishonorable card that they sort of play with.
Right. So it's
real good though.
Yeah,
it is.
But you are saying also, it seems to be like a lot of things they do costs. So managing your fate and everything is also something that you're going to have to be real mindful of, because they don't tend to have a lot of free actions. A lot of their things will cost fate in some form or fashion, and a lot of their characters tend to be in the three range. So
yeah. Out of core, do you feel like Phoenix lends itself well to like a honor or dishonor strategy, or do you feel like you more often go for the crushing of provinces as Phoenix?
My reaction is you play honor military. I don't think you can really play a dishonor style out of a single core, or just 3 cores in general. Like, are you talking about like I have all the cards available? I can do 3 of whatever I want.
Actually, yeah. So
about,
yeah,
like, just out of the starter.
You have 3x of all cards available.
I don't think any deck can do all of it, but I think you can build to do 2 of those 3 and probably do 2 of those 3 pretty successfully. But I think that variety could create a lot of flexibility in Phoenix decks, to where you may not necessarily know which route they're going to go until you get into the game.
I think it's entirely possible that Phoenix will have the most like different archetypes just out of their clan compared to everyone else out of the core.
Which, as a old schoolian, that sounds awesome, because I feel like Phoenix Clan, they've always had like super diehard followers of their clan, but they've had a really rough go. Like, it didn't seem like there was a lot of times in the game that they were like the it clan. They had to kind of get battered a whole bunch, or they would just show up and just play because they loved the clan and they didn't care like how competitive and strong their decks were. So I think it's awesome to see them get a much better defined identity than I feel like they ever had in the old game, and they give them some really nice, powerful cards that make them kind of stand on their own. Sweet.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to add about Phoenix? Or
I was going to say that I don't really hear much hype from them. You know, like, if you see in discussions, there's not a lot of people that are excited or are, already pledging Phoenix right now.
Because it's to sell the same Phoenix players. They don't need to tell anybody, because everyone knows they're playing Phoenix, because they've always played Phoenix.
I've definitely seen 1 or 2 people that I've interacted with. They're like, "Oh yeah, this Phoenix guys, they're absolutely my jam. I'm going with them."
Yeah, I've had a couple messages, people asking about them, and they feel really, really happy about it, and it seems like what they're meshing with. I mean, they do seem also to be a little combo-rific with some of their interactions. So people kind of like that play style. They like to have those really nice triggers and go for those super turns. They'll probably really enjoy this clan.
Is there any other highlight cards that you think we should touch on, Corey?
I mean, I think I kind of hit most of the ones. Like Serene Warrior was big. Display of Power is definitely a defining card. Ben mentioned Grasp of Earth, which is something to think about.
I want to bring up one more.
Sure, go for it.
Isawa Masahiro. This dude, he's a 3-cost, military 3, political 2, glory 2, action. During a fire conflict, battle this character. Choose a participating character with printed cost 2 or lower. Discard that character. So as a dude...
He just incinerates them.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to be at the conflict. It's like you are coming in with your 2-cost dude. Maybe he has a fade on it or something, and he's like, it's a fire conflict. Well, he's just gone. Like it's a really, it's repeatable removal on a stick. It's like an assassination where you don't have to lose 3 honor. It seems really good to me.
You just have to have that ring in the challenge.
Yeah.
Which, sure.
Yeah,
seems great.
I mean,
which you can do when you're Phoenix.
I was gonna say it should be pretty easy to get the ring that you need.
Mm-hmm. So now, just real quick, think about like how different this is on the dragon side, where dragon are like manipulating fate on rings and controlling like that aspect, while Phoenix is manipulating the rings in play. That seems like a very interesting matchup with like dragon and Phoenix and like all the shenanigans going on the rings. They're just like, well, I'm going to put all the fate on this garbage ring that you're going to make me play all the time. They're going to be like, well, you know what? You're not taking that ring, Dragon Boy. You can just watch all the fate build up on it and be sad all the time. And,
Dragon, the dragon are not sad people.
I know, like, another card I actually do like, mostly because it even if it's not super beneficial against your opponent, it's really good for your own deck, is Against the Waves. Because it says ready or bow any Shugenja character.
Yeah.
I believe is what it says. Mm-hmm. And like all the champions in the game, most of the champions of the games in the game are like Shugenja, which to me is amazing.
I think only Togashi Ikuni is.
Oh, that's right. It's the dragon one that is the Shugenja.
Because I don't even think Shiba Tsukune. She's not a.
No, she's not. Because she's a Shiba.
But readying, but you're gonna have a ton of Shugenja in Phoenix, and being able to just pay 1 and ready one of those and use them in 2 conflicts is really good.
Yeah, like it very much seemed like the ways like they very much promote the one big guy, like the single big bad strategy in Dragon, because you want to have the one guy you can throw some fate on, and you have attachment, and this attachment, you're going to attach another monk to it, and it's going to be this huge, as we described in a previous episode, like horizontally built single character that kind of is good at anything. That gets covert, that can do one, or they basically we can do military and then swap over to political, and it seems like they're not going to be the only ones that can do that. Phoenix has within its like color pie the ability to also do this with Shugenja characters, and I dig that.
Yeah, they're just doing it all off spell cards instead of like items and gear. They're just triggering spell effects to do it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cute. Pretty cute.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. What?
Nobody wants their clan described as cute, man.
You know who does want their clan described as cute?
Oh no, here we go.
Yeah.
The little ponies.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Hey Ben, your clan is cute, bro.
You know what though? I will say, I was kind of like, really. I'm like, dragons my boys. But then after reading that, like, how unicorn's gonna work, I was tempted to swear.
Yeah,
they're really cool.
I'm probably one of a handful of people that just enjoyed the Marco Polo Netflix series just as a insane, pointless, mindless action. And I just think Unicorn Clan like all the time. Like as I'm like watching and seeing, and then you see all the theme, the look of the characters, like the unicorns like all like the Mongolians and everything. It's just really cool. It's pretty awesome. So yeah. So I guess that segues us into talking about the Unicorn Clan. So,
oh, no.
so yeah. You back, Hollis? You okay?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that kind of unicorn. That's fine.
Cool. All right. So I guess let's dive in. I'll do the story. All right. You ready?
Oh, wait 1 sec, Corey.
Oh yes.
Where would you put the Phoenix in the clan rankings of the clans previewed so far?
Oh man, how would we even break it down with the clans previewed so far?
It's okay. Nobody's gonna judge you for it.
Well,
I know.
So I'll start. If we start off right, So you have dragon, and then you fill in the blanks. I know the best one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where we order the rest of them right now.
I mean, that's really tough to say because you've got, of course, different environments, right? Because single core environment, which is what a lot of the events that we're all going to see early, is going to be a completely different beast than when you can actually build and play with multiples of all your clan cards. So single core, there's going to be so much variance, it seems like, in the game that most people are probably just talking out of their ass when they're trying to pick and name something they think is best. Because it's really hard to tell. Because you can probably have games where you never even see a member of your clan in your dynasty flip. And it doesn't matter what clan you're playing. You might as well be neutral. You could be the Otomo or Sepun family. So it doesn't matter what you have. So me personally, I feel like Phoenix is going to be really, really strong, but I don't know how many people are going to play them. So I think Phoenix are going to be Phoenix and be a very tight-knit, small collection of players, but I think they're going to make impacts at events. So I didn't really answer that question.
The standard thing, I think, sitting across from Phoenix, it might not be as frequent as maybe some of the other like big names, but sometimes you're just going to sit across the Phoenix, you're going to play your game, and you're just going to be like, okay, cool, I'm doing my thing. Crap! Oh my god. Like, they just keep on screwing over what you're doing. It's going to be like you're not tech for it, and then...
Yeah, or you just don't play it enough to know exactly how you present it, because they're going to change the way you play against them.
Right.
So,
yeah, you better have a multi-win condition built, or a backup plan built in.
Yeah. So, yeah, and they're up there. I don't think they're the best, but they're nowhere near, I guess, what I would qualify as the worst, if you even have that. I haven't seen a clan that I felt like is bad to install, have different play styles.
Unicorn.
There we go. Thanks.
Unicron.
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 Unicrons, roll out.
800 years ago, the Kirin clan left Rokugan to scout the world for enemies beyond the Emerald Empire. When they returned, okay, this is a longer story than any others. Pretty much they rode away, and then they came back, and they were like, you guys are awesome. You're the Unicorn clan. But they're experts in confusing their foes with a bevy of combat tricks and military might.
Yeah, because they have the horses, man. No one else is riding horses.
And other thematic things to throw in storyline is they are viewed as foreigners with strange ways, wandering nomads who fight in unnatural ways with their powerful Bushidō, I guess I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, magic and superior horsemanship skills. So, and
if you like horses, well, I got a plan for you.
Yeah. Yo, dog, I hear you like horses. So,
but who's more aggro? Or would you say that Unicorn is or Lion?
I think Unicorn.
I think so too. Actually, yeah.
And I think you'll see this as we go into their way and their stronghold. Which I guess let's go into their stronghold now.
Segway!
Ding, ding, ding,
Hey-o.
ding, ding. Oh, man. I love it when a plan comes together. It's so good. So this is a great Golden Plains outpost. Notable stat, +0 province strength.
Whoa.
Okay. It is a 10 honor, 7 fate, 10 influence, standard, an outpost, if that matters. And its action ability is during a military conflict, bow this stronghold, choose a cavalry character you control, move it to that conflict.
Man.
So we're immediately now seeing, okay, we're seeing where these horses come into play here. They got a little bit of movement shenanigans going on. It kind of lets Unicorn not have to overcommit to their military. The other thing that I've seen is maybe you route a Unicorn character, and then they're just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna bow my stronghold, just move them right back in. And then you're just like, cool, that's great.
It didn't take.
Yeah, that's right. Turns out the horse is giddy upped. He was in there.
Yeah, these guys are definitely going to have the shenanigans, a little bit of surprise, mechanics. I expect a lot of event cards to be dropped from hand that move people around.
Maybe. The notable thing, though, to be mindful of course, is that +0.
Yeah, +0 is a big deal, I think.
Yeah, so they're not buffing whatever province is underneath their stronghold, which, I mean, again, thematically they're nomads, so they're not making like permanent fortifications. Ooh. They're not like staying somewhere for.
You trying to tie theme into this?
It's crazy, I know.
So this is tie your response in with this question from chat: is do you feel this ability justifies the +0 province strength?
I don't know if it justifies the ability as much as it's a flavor win. But that ability does negate some of the powerful cards people have been talking about, again, with things like Route, that could be used to take somebody out. But also considering that as we get on and we start talking, Unicorn is going to be very aggro, very aggressive, but they also have to make their characters count and be super effective with them. And the ability, too, for them to not have to commit all their dudes is really strong, because you now as a defender have to think about someone else can just show up in this conflict, and you have to plan that whenever you're playing your cards and you're defending, that it may not necessarily be just what's there at your province.
Yeah,
something else could show up.
You're going to be almost like a bluffing style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like playing against the unicorn may force you to overcommit because you think that they're going to be pulling their shenanigans
Correct.
On you.
And then they get the ability to not send the guy in.
Right.
You now have to bow all your defenders, and then now they have a free person that they could use for another challenge.
I think really what the +0 strength means to a unicorn player is if you're in a situation where they're attacking your stronghold before you're trying to win the game, then you're already screwing up. Like, you need to be going fast. You need to be going and breaking provinces just faster than they can break your provinces.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Shake and bake, baby.
That's the motto of the Unicorn Clan.
Yeah, but I really think
I
think it's going to be hard to keep up with their speed to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are one of the guys that I'm really worried about them getting a good opening hand.
Yeah, it can be pretty impactful. Good. So yeah, let's jump over to their province. Let's keep rolling.
Oh yeah.
So their province they have next is Endless Plains. So this is a 2 province strength, really low. It is a water province. Reaction. After an attack is declared here, break this province. Your opponent chooses an attacking character, discard that character. Now, some things to note that's been clarified is, I believe, as they stated, it doesn't end the conflict. So you'll still play out the conflict and take all your actions, but you've already broken and triggered the province. So no matter who wins, the province is still broken.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very interesting province. Like, its impact relies on like what's committed and how early it shows up. But this is a province that does make an opponent who goes with like my clan champion on turn 1. Now they have to think about, oh wait, well I don't want to send him into solo province because if my opponent flips Endless Plains, I just lost my clan champion.
The dream.
The dream. Right. Yeah. But there's also, it does make your opponent have to think, because sometimes people will get greedy, especially with some like your big beefcake military decks like Crab, who can send a single guy to solo province. Well, against Unicorn, with the threat of Endless Plains being something, he has to bring a buddy.
Buddy system.
That's right. You got to use the buddy system so you don't have everyone wiped out.
And see, we were just mentioning, like, you can cause your opponents to overcommit resources due to like the stronghold ability moving. Just the existence of this province means that your opponents have to almost overcommit to attacks against you until they see it flipped.
So now they're put in like a tough decision, because they overcommit to the defense. They're probably not coming at you a whole bunch, or even more than one conflict. And then if they overcommit on the attack to not be hurt by Endless Plains, then you're able to probably ride in and take 2 provinces as a Unicorn player.
I think that as Unicorn, you're happy you don't want to be attacked at your stronghold, but if you're able to lose one of your provinces, but then take 2 of theirs, like you'll sack yours to have a really hard counterattack. That's okay with you.
Yeah, you feel good. You feel good with that trade.
Yeah,
because I mean, technically at that point, you could be just 1 turn away from winning the game.
Slot the planes.
Slot the planes.
Slot
hashtags. Slot the planes.
Play the planes.
Play the planes.
Play the planes.
All right. So
I think it's really cool to see again. I mean, I really can't stress this enough. How awesome it is to have so many factions like out the gate, and each one pulling a different mechanic, right? So it's really going to be interesting from a deck building perspective to see what people are going to do when they take this faction and then pairing it with other factions to try and capitalize or to minimize the deficiencies of the faction.
It's great, and again, you're seeing more theme come through, especially with Endless Plains, because again, nomads, they really don't care about their provinces. They just pick up their camp and then move somewhere else and then make way wherever they're at. So they don't care if they needed just to break down and burn their province to have you get lost and not know where you're at, and you're just like wandering. It's like,
yeah, I mean, Flavorwind, Unicorn is the only clan in core set that does not have a holding.
Yeah. Again,
yeah. Well, let's get into some characters. Where's Carl Drogo?
Carl?
Yeah.
Carl's Drogo. Let's do the way first, and then we'll get to the champion.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, we'll get through this real quick. Way of the Unicorn. 0 costs. Interrupt. When you would pass the first player token, keep it instead.
Yeah.
Get ready for the most troll-happy way in the entire game.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for those moments where, like, they just, like, will pass over the first player marker, and then you'll just be like, oh, this is mine? And then you reach for it, they're like, just kidding. Way of the Unicorn, it's mine, you don't get it. All right, just all these
all right, you get it this time. No, you don't.
Yeah, JK, sorry, bro. Too slow. You ain't first, you're last.
So
this way, I think, is probably deceptively good. I think a lot of people say this and see this and are like, whatever, go first. You're still going to make 2 attacks. Who cares? But I think that I mean, it really ties into the aggression aspect where they're wanting to just go. But the fact that when the Unicorn get to attack first and you have to defend, that means that you're going to have to, use your guys to defend, and then you won't be able to use them on attack. And with, like we said, having to overcommit stuff, you're going to have even fewer guys, or you're going to have to either undercommit, and knowing that you're just going to lose this because they have too many actions, they can bring in too many guys. All right, I'll just lose this province. All right, and then they play they play and break that province, and then play breakthrough and just go for the next one, go through for the throat. Mm-hmm. Going first is huge, I think.
Yeah, and the other big strength it gives you is first pick a ring, which is if you're swinging from one to the next turn, and there's a ring again that's been building up fate, like to be able to steal that economy and get that economy swing can be really powerful.
Take that, Phoenix! Bam!
Yeah, because as you'll see going in, like Unicorn have some really impactful conflict cards, and one of them is pretty expensive to play.
Oh, but it's good.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Also, one more thing about going first. You mentioned fate on rings. Also, you'll have probably first opportunity to pass on Dynasty phase to take that fate as well. Because whoever's going first more often will end up getting that fate.
Well, yeah, well said.
All right, you ready to move on to the champ?
Champion.
The champion of the Unicorn. So we have Shinjo Altansarnai, like that. It's a really long last name. Yeah. So it's 5 fate, 5 military, 4 political, 2 glory, Bushi Cav champion, reaction. After you break a province during a military conflict in which this character is participating, Your opponent chooses a character he or she controls, discard that character.
Done, son.
So you come riding in, bust that province, your opponent has to pitch somebody.
Man,
It's interesting. It's not like the most impactful that I've seen because it's very specific on the channel. Like, you have to break a province and it has to be during a military.
Yeah.
And she has to be there. And then your opponent does get to pick who they discard. So if they have some chud that they already blocked with, they can just burn that person. But there can be situations where that, like if your opponent doesn't defend, right? Then they're just like, okay, well, I have to get rid of somebody. So they have someone on the table. So it's interesting.
So I'll be honest. I think that the best word on this card is the word cavalry.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the fact that you can she's a 5 skill for 5 military, 4 political for 5/8, like just a beat stick. That you could just kind of hold her back, and like you send in a couple of small dudes and you see how they do. Are they going to do all right? They're doing okay? All right, they can hold it, sure. All right, then you hold back Alton Sarnai for the political. Or no, they need help. All right, bow and bring in another 5 skill to the conflict.
Yeah.
I think that is one of her main big uses, in my opinion. I don't think the ability is going to be super high impact. She is real grid when she's honored, but just being a big beat stick that you can move in very easily, I think is really, really good.
And also the fact she has that cavalry trait.
Yeah.
Also allows her to synergize really cool with another card that we'll go over really soon.
Oh, yeah. That too.
Which gives her a really unique ability that a lot of clan champions can't do.
Yeah, I had some of the same thoughts that were already spoken. I think the ability is really cool because you're thinning some stuff out. Like to discard a character that's in play there is pretty powerful, and could potentially be a game swing. But the problem is to get that activation, you're looking at 2 criteria, breaking the province and the type of conflict that is involved. So I really got mixed emotions about this.
You're not really playing her for the ability. I mean, as Ben mentioned, you're really just playing her for the cav trait and the stats. The ability is kind of like cool when it happens. Like, oh, neat. But you're not like playing to trigger the ability.
But it's cool. It's a nice little bonus. Yeah. Like, you break a province. Yeah. Oh, surprise! You get to kill a dude. Cool. That dude may not matter, but it's a moral victory.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you could be looking at almost getting into a steamroll or a snowball kind of stuff, right? Like, if you're breaking provinces and discarding characters, you're on a slippery slope as going against this clan.
It's true. It's true. So hey Ben, since you're looking, to mount the steed, what if you can pick out some other cards that immediately jump out to you as some things that are very notable in the clan?
Well, let's start with kind of some of the fundamentals. So we've already talked about how cavalry is really core to the identity of Unicorn. They have a card called Cavalry Reserves. Let me pull it up here to make sure I get the exact wording right. So it's a conflict card. It costs 3 fate. It's 2 influence. I don't know if you'd ever play it outside of Unicorn, though. But yeah, so 3 fate. It's really expensive. But as an action, you play this card. During a military conflict, choose up to 6 printed cost worth of cavalry characters in your Dynasty discard pile. Put those characters into play in the conflict. So just with a single action, you can be like, that Alton Sarnai's gone. Welcome back. You got that 5 fate, or that 5 skill, with another like 1 cost guy. Like, there's several other cavalry you have access to, like off the top of my head.
Horde.
Yeah, Moto. Well, you wouldn't do that with Alton Sarnai, but yeah, Moto Horde is a 6 skill that for only 4 fate.
That card.
I mean, Moto Horde isn't a card that I think many people want to pay 4 fate for, but like maybe like they break a province and you flip them over Horde and lose. You're like, oh no, it's discarded. It's coming back. It's right. It's right where I want it. But yeah, I think this is some of the best recursion we've seen. I mean, we've seen a little bit of recursion, like out of Lion with Kitsu's Spirit Caller and Guidance of the Ancestors, but this is like high impact, focused recursion, where it's just when you play this card, you're about to get screwed if you're on the other side of it. Like it's huge. If you see a Unicorn player who's on 3 Fate and they're attacking you with military, and they've got dudes in the graveyard or the discard, whatever. You know what's coming. Just prepare your butthole.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was gonna say that as well.
Damn.
You're really gonna have to watch the fate level, because this is the surprise card that's gonna hit you. I don't think we've really seen something this powerful, like where Ben touched on, is the recursion technique, right? Like, we've seen Dragon being able to stop their cards from being discarded by just the Ancestral pops it to hand, but we haven't really seen too much bring a shitload of stuff back from your discard yet.
And I'm going to chime in with the flavor police. So this is really cool because, one, Unicorn, I feel like more than almost any other clan, don't like to put a lot of extra fate on a lot of their characters, because they just want to churn out dudes to be able to keep that aggression. So they're going to be binning a lot of people. So they're automatically going to be fueling their Cav Reserve cards, and they're going to get those loaded up and ready to go.
Jeez.
And the whole story and theme behind Fate is its characters that stick around and they're constantly needed and they go. Well, the Unicorn are constantly moving, always in motion. They don't stay around very often. But you never know when they're going to come back. And they just show up en masse. Like, the Border Rider leaves and then comes back with a horde, following in and help you in your mission or whatever you're trying to do. So it's really cool.
I mean, Cavalry Reserves is expensive. It costs 3 Fate. But you can afford it because you're not buying your guys originally with much Fate, because you're not putting that extra Fate on there. Like, cool, all right, I got him for a turn. Goodbye. He's coming back. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll save your spot
for clans that have like counters. So things like Voice of Honor or whatever, and Crane and things like that could make your Cav Reserve play real sad.
I have to mention this just because it's Christmas Flandry, and it's not even that Christmassy, but I think that Lion is a really good splash for Unicorn because they have a card called For Greater Glory. So you Cav Reserve, you bring back 2-3 Cavalry out of nowhere, and then break their province. Cool. For Greater Glory, now they all have a Fate, and they're sticking around next turn. So for 4 total Fate, you have this giant army. They're like, all right, this is my army now. This is great. They're here next turn. You're going to have to deal with it again.
They decided they wanted to stay. They wanted to hang out. They really like this place. They like the fields. A lot of room for activities. Okay, so that's one. So yes. Cav Reserve, hands down, of course, the standout card and probably the defining card of the clan. You would say.
I would say it's defining, yeah.
Yeah,
but
and probably the closest one to it is probably going to be one you're going to talk about next.
You want to say it, or should I?
You can go for it.
All right.
This is.
Let me make sure I got it in front of me here. It is also called. There it is. All right. So this is a Unicorn event. Cost 0. It's called Captive Audience. During a political conflict, lose 1 honor. Change the conflict type to military. So surprise! You thought this peaceful gathering was peaceful. Well, there's a giant load of horses up your butt.
Wow. Man, that's so ballsy.
This is so huge. Like, they come at you with political. They've got like your just your big political dudes. Maybe they don't even have any military stat on there because they're an Atomic Courtier and you're playing single core. And so they're coming at you. They've got 8, 9, 10 politics. Maybe it's a Crane player and they're going all in. And this, dude, no, it's now your military. You've got 1 skill and I've got 9.
Yeah, and I think this card, the card you talked about earlier, Cav Reserves, and this is another step of why this is the aggro clan. Like, this is where this clan steps up to being like the aggression.
It's great because it allows you to play Cavalry Reserves, which has to be in a military. It works with the stronghold because the stronghold works in military. Like, all right, this is politics. I'm safe. They can't move guys in. Just kidding. It's and also, I mean, talk about hosers. We were talking about how Phoenix, they can use their province to be switching the conflict type. Like, you come in with military, like, aha, it's political. No, it's military.
Yeah.
And so, like, they can really force in some really strong conflicts, and it allows you to do 2 military attacks on a turn, basically. So you attack them with military, then go politics. Nope, it's still military. It's possibly one of the best conflict cards in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's why it's 3 influence. So,
yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
quite a fan.
Like I said, this is a ridiculous aggro clan. Like, this is aggro players are gonna be like more at home in Unicorn than Lion. I think this is where people need to check out if you just want to try and come in and lay beats.
Yeah.
Plus, they have some cool trickery stuff, so it's just not all like all out in the open, you know.
They do have a lot of movement shenanigans with some of the abilities on their personalities, as far as like moving into conflict, bringing somebody. So, Hollis, you okay, man? What? What? I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Purple Wedding, boys. Paul Avers. Oh my God.
The Purple Wedding.
The Purple Wedding, boys.
That's exactly what that captive audience is.
There you go.
Wait, what's with all these horses here? Do you hear horses outside?
You can't leave.
So good. So
What
cool.
about one I thought was cool was favored mount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Fairmount's excellent.
It was
So
attached.
+1 military.
Yeah, +1 to military. It's just cost 1 to throw out there. Attached to character you control. Attached character gains cavalry. So that's really something. But the action is during a conflict. Bow this attachment to move attached character to the conflict.
And what's really cool about that is that ability isn't contingent on the type of conflict.
Yeah.
So you could use that ability even in like political challenges.
Yeah, just pulling in and out. That was.
I mean, it's really fun to play like on someone who isn't a cavalry already, like even in a military, because you like hold back someone who's like just a courtier or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, at least they can't move that in because they're not cavalry on this military conflict. Well, no, they suddenly not only could they move in because they have favorite mount, but now they're also cavalry and can move in because of the stronghold. They can move in twice, even if you're out of it. But yeah, it's really great. And I think it actually works really well with another of their attachments, which is kind of like the reverse, which is Spyglass.
I just brought it up right now.
I really like this card a lot. It's a one cost unicorn attachment. It's +1 political, +0 military. Reaction after attached character commits to a conflict or moves to a conflict, draw 1 card, limit twice per round, which is a really big deal because, I mean, first of all, card draw is great. You put this on someone with a fate or 2, especially someone who like can't get assassinated, you're gonna get some good card draw out of it. But especially if you're able to do things that let that character move into the battle twice.
Yep.
So,
oh my God.
So something that's interesting is with. Sorry, I'm going crazy here.
Yeah.
Some of these characters, they don't say that the character has to be ready in order to move them in. So like you have this Spyglass on a Shinjo Outrider, which is a 2 cost 2/2 character, dynasty character, where it has an action that says move it to the conflict. So this Spyglass is on there. You commit this guy to.
What was the card?
Oh, sorry.
I'll try and bring
it's called Shinjo Outrider.
Okay.
It's a unicorn dynasty character. 2 cost, 2 military, 2 political, 2 glory. As an action, you can move this to the conflict. Just move it there.
Yeah, I got it up now.
So say you have this Spyglass on the Outrider. You commit him to your first battle. He draws you a card. Then he comes home bowed. Then during a political conflict later on, you can use the action on him even though he's bowed, to move him to the conflict and draw a card anyway, even though he won't offer skill to the battle. You'll just draw a card just because you haven't used this ability yet.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's great. It's really
Spyglass is great, and Unicorn wants card draw. Like, because they want to get to their really impactful conflict cards. They want to draw their cav reserves, their captive audience, their really good attachments. Like, so anything that gives them card draw is really strong in that clan. So, what are some other characters or attachments that also jump out? I mean, you kind of mentioned Favored Mount and Spyglass. Is there any other attachments that, like, you're a big fan of? That,
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, another really good target for the Spyglass would be Border Rider. I really like this card. It's a 2-cost. Let me pull it up. Border Rider. 2-cost, 2 military, 1 political, 1 glory. As an action, you could ready this character. And so basically what this character says is this character can participate in 2 conflicts, which is super cool.
And just to kind of chime in real quick, sorry, but for some people who are familiar with the old style game, the cavalry trait actually had a specific benefit of when you would commit in conflicts. In the old game, when you have the provinces, you would do your attack, and then you would pick where you would go, and you would assign all your ground troops, and then your opponent would do defenders, and then cav would go later. So it would get cav the ability of going like where your opponent wasn't, or knowing exactly how they planned on defending. And since the cav isn't its own built-in ability, the way they've kind of replicated a lot of this in the new game is by giving you such flexibility in how you commit and allowing you to, you know, like same thing like untap, like unexhaust your own guys, moving in, bringing a friend. So this is kind of how they've simulated some of the benefits of the cav trait by just having all these movement shenanigans built into the clan. The whole movement and the thematic tie-in with on horses, so they're doing everything really quick in and out of battles is just ridiculously awesome. Yeah,
I was excited for these guys to see what they're bringing, and they didn't. I didn't get swayed, but I almost was swayed.
I mean, I could honestly. You asked me which ones I'm interested in. I could honestly go on a bunch of these, like Born in War, which potentially gives you a +4 military skill as an attachment on a cavalry, which is amazing. Giver of Gifts lets you move around your attachments and keep them around.
Give you +2.
If you're giving your cavalry only a +2 with Born in War, like you're doing it wrong. Like, pick another clan, please. Like you're going in hard. But yeah, like Giver of Gifts, which is cool because you get to save all of your attachments. Like, you play this Born in War, and then the guy's about to leave, and they just move it over to another guy who's got fresh fate on him. There's just so many really cool things going on here, and I don't know. For me personally, like, a lot of people like to play a really, really aggressive style, and believe it or not, I typically don't go like for hard aggression, but I'm really into like the movement tricks and being like able to kind of weave in and out and just kind of like attack people without not expecting, keep them off balance. Like, that's very much my style.
The feint.
Oh yeah, the feint, the juke.
I think it's really cool that we're gonna have access
the rope-a-dope
in a living card game format here, because there's so much that you're gonna want to try out, and you're gonna have, be able to have the cards to do that.
It's great.
Yeah,
Again,
it's great.
Another great job capturing the theme and everything in the clan. So you get that feel of like this is a band of nomads roving around horseback that just wants to stampede all over your provinces.
We have Idle Trader.
E-Day Trader.
E-Day?
E-Day,
yeah.
It's one of the houses.
It looks like Ide, but it's E-Day.
I'd trade.
Flagged. I'd trade.
After one or more characters move to a conflict, which this character is participating, select one, gain 1 fate, or draw 1 card. So then again, there's as people move in here, there's the draw mechanic that Unicorn is looking. Be able to grab those characters, get them into your hand, and splash them out on the board kind of as quickly as possible, right?
Is that a conflict character, or is that a dynasty character?
Dynasty.
It's Dynasty, yeah.
What are the conflict characters that they've spoiled?
They've only shown one so far. It was the Ide Messenger. I mean, people have figured out that there's, like, in terms of, like, the numbers and how they typically order everything, there's one other character that they haven't shown yet, so we don't know what that is. But the Ide Messenger, it's a 2 cost, 1 military, 2 political, 0 glory, 1 influence. Action, during a conflict, spend 1 fate. Choose a character you control and move that character to the conflict. So yet another movement thing that can be played out of hand. I mean, it's more expensive than Favored Mount.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. It's 1 influence. I mean, so is Favored Mount.
Yeah, so everything is moving around. Giver of Gifts, I think is really cool, moving the attachments.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, and I think it's really appropriate that their standard element, like their endless planes, is water. They're all about water, flowing and movement.
Yeah, it's really cool. Again,
Unicorn is going to be ridiculously fun to play, ridiculously fun to play against.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah,
about that second half.
Yeah, Hollis,
any
thoughts on that you want to add into the Unicorn stuff?
I feel like I feel like this is very akin to what we're used to seeing for like if we look at Lion, right? Like the way Lion works is, we mentioned this before in another episode, but it's basically very horizontal. It's a lot of really small, a lot of really small dudes and dudettes that are gonna like jump into combat that are gonna overwhelm your opponent, right? This is even this is almost even more ridiculous, because even if it's not a lot of small people that are in the conflict, it's the sheer like speed in which it escalates to where you can say, all right, this guy comes in for 2, 3 military. This person comes in for 3, 4, or 4 or 5 military. Not only that, but military attack right now on this province. And you know what? Well, after I successfully crack or don't crack this province, I play this event and I'm immediately attacking another one. Do you have defenders? No. Guess I'm cracking that one. like knowing they can move at that sort of like breakneck pace. I think Ben actually mentioned it earlier. Or no, sorry. And Corey mentioned, if you're not first, you're last. Unicorn, it feels like Unicorn does not want to be slow. If you're going to play Unicorn, you want to go from the gate, going hard in the paint for military conflicts.
From the gate, I get it.
Yeah,
it's a Derby reference.
Got him. No, but you want to start off just going really hard in military. So much so that like they even troll themselves with that card that says "lose a fate if you are in a political conflict" to make it military.
Yeah.
Like there is no other option for them.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I think also that's really interesting because we've seen that like neutral side. We know that there's a conflict on both sides. It says if this is a political conflict, it's a +5 strength. If it's a military conflict, it's a +5 strength. So those clans that are all in on just that one thing, I'm really interested to see if that's like on your province. Or sorry, if that's on your stronghold, excuse me. Mm-hmm. How is that going to affect how you have to approach the game now? Because I don't know if you guys were also looking at it like I was. I saw very few political cards that were even worth including in Unicorn.
How quick is a Unicorn game going to go? Question.
No.
It could be I honestly feel like it could be fast. It could be very, very quick.
I think you can have games that'll be over in probably 3 rounds. I think 3 rounds is probably your average. They may take a province turn 1, maybe take 2. You may stall them turn 2, but then if you don't have a good stall, you're probably out by turn 3. Just depends on how good their play is and how good their pulls are.
I do think they have some good political games. I mean, they have a couple of 3-cost characters, Warrior Poet, and there was that French spoiler. It was like Itaku Yumino, I think was her name, or Yasmino. Some people were saying. And also, I think Ide Trader and Giver of Gifts, they do have some really good.
And Spyglass adds the political.
And Spyglass, gives a political. I think. I was just going to say, though, but what you were saying, Hollis, is that they're very focused on military.
Yeah.
And they can do political stuff, too, but I think what they're focused on is attacking and breaking provinces. And what I see as a potential weakness of Unicorn is they don't have very much way to interact with honor. Like, so if you go up against a deck that is focusing on honoring out or dishonoring you, you could have some trouble against some of those strategies. So you're going to have to, play very carefully against those kinds of decks.
Yeah. Dishonor can put a damper, and also if you find a way, Unicorn has a lot of really good cards, and they want to get a lot of cards. And I feel like you may have been having some games where the Unicorn player might just bid 5 on the first honor just to blow their hand up and get all their really impactful cards, and just try to ride it out and crush you.
Ride it out.
Ride it out. Ride or die.
I think another thing that's gonna play into the speed that we're seeing with Unicorn is a card called Breakthrough, where after the resolution of your first conflict, if that conflict broke a province, you immediately declare your second conflict. So
it just keeps with that aggression.
Yeah,
that's where like going first again can be super impactful, because you take the first action, you declare it, you break, you immediately get to go again. And other things to think about in this instance is, again, later in the game where rings have built up fate, you're not only gaining ring and effects, but you're also stealing. You're taking money. You're gaining money triggering this card. So you're going to take like the ring that's going to get you the most economy, and then you trigger and take another one. And then that also can mess your opponent up, because maybe in their game plan they're like, okay, cool, I may get this ring to give me that extra fate I need to play some of these cards or do this character. But then you're just like pulling it out from under them. It's neato.
Yeah. So you got to go fast. Some make it. I don't know if it would be called a glass cannon. I wouldn't call it glass necessarily, but it is a cannon. It's maybe a more linear game plan than some of the other clans. But
yeah, that's true, because I pretty much feel like the only way they win is military. They don't have another win condition.
Like if you play red deck wins and Magic, this is the deck for you.
Yeah. Good analogy.
There you go. If any of those like 3 Magic players who ever watch this,
red deck wins.
So, do you guys have anything else to add to Unicorn or Phoenix, or any closing thoughts in general here?
To the clans and stuff, I don't. I do have some random closing thoughts, but I'll wait until if anyone wants to add anything to the clan discussion.
I am good.
I wanted to say that I'm not gonna lie. I thought Unicorn. When we saw Unicorn, the first Unicorn spoiler, it was just the way of the Unicorn, which said basically you keep the first player token, whatever. And all I could think of was like, I cannot think of any games where that is like significantly super impactful, because that seems like a very troll ability. And that was before I knew anything about the actual way the game would play. No one had a rough cut of the rules yet. So it just seemed very silly. And then I just had a long thought to myself, and I was like, man, the Unicorn clan, the fact that it's named Unicorn just sounds ridiculous to begin with. so it's probably like the most trolly clan in the game. And now that we see these cards, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
because I'm thinking about like, man, what if I just play like Crane? That sounds like really good. And I was like, oh, but like you just blitz me to death and I can't do anything. All right, well, not a good plan.
You're gonna talk him out.
No, it's okay. At least you got political. Just kidding. It's still military.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, okay, maybe I misjudged what I should be doing. I think they're actually pretty strong. I think probably jumping the gun again. I know that I don't have enough knowledge or enough playtesting experience to say with certainty, but it feels like it's at least about as good as what Lion can be, and that's just because of the sheer number of support cards in faction that allow that military strategy to just be overwhelming very quickly to your opponent. So, I dig it.
So, Hollis, which clan are you playing now?
Still Scorpion. We're Scorpion all the way, baby. Listen.
The last one, so this plays perfect, because as clans have been coming out, you've been getting super hyped. With Scorpion being the last one, you're in there. Yes. You're good.
dude, scumbag all day, baby. Let's go. Like, there's no honor. There's no honor in No, I don't know. Like,
there just isn't any honor.
There's just no honor. There's no honor.
gone.
What honor do I need? Just assassinate everybody. Who cares? I don't know. It's over.
I'll take your honor. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty cool. So, and that is something too.
Ben, any thoughts? Sorry. Any thoughts that you had left? Closing remarks, or?
I'm really glad that we could finally see all the unicorn cards that were finally revealed with just under a week to go now. I'm stoked to play these guys. I don't know how well it's going to do in a single core at Gen Con, just because variance is variance, but, getting past that, I think this is going to be a really fun clan to play, and I'm really stoked for it.
Awesome. So, I guess to go into some future information, if you haven't noticed yet, FFG has been sneaking in some of the Scorpion previews into some of the previous clan fans. So you're able to see, like random Scorpion cards that'll pop up in some of your favorite clan spoiler articles, which has been a really clever and really awesome way to kind of spoil that, especially since the deadline's getting super close to Gen Con and everyone was wondering if they were going to make it. So you'll probably see us really soon do probably a short cast on Scorpion, but we don't know when that's going to happen, if we're going to be able to get out before Gen Con.
Yeah,
it's going to be the deadline. Maybe we'll record it like Wednesday night at Gen Con. It's a crazy world.
And was that what you were holding there?
Yeah, I'm also going to add.
Just asking.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm also just going to add, I guess, 2 other quick things. So, one, all of us will be at Gen Con, and all of us will be playing in L5R events in some form of fashion. I think all of us are in Thursday, and some of us will be in the other events throughout the weekend.
Yeah, so, feel free to link up with us on Sunday, and we can talk strategy, and save your questions till then. We don't want to give away give those hot tips away before.
Yeah.
And we may be having another episode sneak out before Gen Con with some spoilers or some things we're going to be bringing with us to the convention to hand out. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and if you can't make it, hopefully the stream is going to work out. I mean, I've been in contact with FFG about it. They've gotten all the permission and everything. It's just a matter of logistically making sure that we got space and stuff. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
If you can set up amongst the 720 people or however many, the insane number of contestants, that event's going to be absolutely madness, and I'm sure there's going to be coverage all over the place. And
King of the streams.
Excited. Yeah, that's right. King of the streams.
King of all streams.
So yeah, but that's it. That's all I've got to say. So,
Ben, thank you very much for jumping on, making your schedule available to come in and be our special guest, and
thanks for having me.
How excited you are to play Unicorn. Thank you in advance for everybody for all that you have doing for. We know it's no short. Let's just say it's not an easy task to lug all your equipment and your power setup out to these events. I think people take a lot of that for granted, just assuming that it's you get up there and it's like one of those Coleman pop tents, and it's up. But it's you got a lot of work behind the scenes, prepping before, during, after. So thank you very much for all you do, guys. If you're not helping Ben out, support what he does, because if it's anything from what he's done with the Netrunner community, you will be living on his videos or
living
on.
It will be sustaining your existence.
Yes. You'll have a new group of people that will be bugging you for when those YouTubes and video on demands and clips and stuff get all put up. So hopefully you'll be able to juggle all these games now.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done 2 games at the same time before, so this is going to be an adventure. But Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's fun. It's always an exciting time when there's a brand new game with a big community out there. So I'm happy to help.
You might have to take on some co-op students or interns or something, huh? Like
or maybe finally start a Patreon. That would be nice.
Send your resumes in.
Yeah. There you go.
We have one position open.
I will say that at Gen Con I will be working with Jason Deng, which is another guy in the Netrunner community. So it's not going to be me solo. He's probably going to, because I'm going to be playing in like all of the events, and so all the streams, he's probably going to be the one actually sitting there running it.
Just like that position has been filled. Sorry, people.
Yeah, sorry.
He got his resume in fast.
He's also bringing the primary power source, which is just a giant battery. Because if you didn't know this, it's going to be in the Gen Con play hall, and you just can't get power. There's no outlets. If you want a power drop, it's like $1,000, and you have to get away and hit advance, and FFG won't let you use yours because there's
I just imagine this being like the scene in Ghostbusters where it's like the giant thing that's keeping the vault active, and it's like, don't flip it down.
That's what I'll be. Eh? Someone's like, "Ooh, look at this rig," and I'm like, "Tell them about the Twinkie."
I mean, it's this giant, big, heavy electrical piece of equipment, and so we've taken to nicknaming it the bomb. It's like, yeah, I'm lugging this bomb to Gen Con. Can someone help me bring this bomb to Gen Con? It's not a real bomb, FBI. It's just a battery.
You are so lucky that you are not crossing borders then.
Yeah, he's not flying in with that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
cool.
Thanks to Jason. He's going to be helping out with that too.
Well, thanks to all that you guys do on your channel and helping connect people that can't make it out, give them their taste. Guys, this concludes it for me. Thanks very much for everybody that joined us in chat tonight. Like Corey said, make sure you hunt us down at Gen Con. We should have one more episode coming before, maybe Sunday, I think. Hollis?
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, that we should be available to do one more episode by then.
Okay, just checking.
You're checking me? Yeah.
And you're going to be right on time for it.
Should be, I'll be right on time for that.
Ish.
Scorpion, you got to talk about Scorpion.
You know what? He's the king of ish, right? Be there at like 10-ish.
What time are we recording? 9:30. Got it. So 10:30ish.
Ish.
Just want to make sure. Got to make sure that I got the time right.
All right, guys. This is Dragon On. So let me just say thanks again. Like, subscribe wherever social media takes you. We're there. Thank you. Bye for now.
Good night, guys.
See you guys.